The college basketball experience preview and picks for Wednesday night, March the 12th edition on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Rhythm is giving away a $250 future and throwing a March Madness party. Head on over there to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for details today. We're also brought to you by SGPN. This March is an epic basketball contest. Survivor. First place gets $75K. Enter at splashsports.com/SGPN. And last but not least, we're brought to you by SGPN, giving away $2,000 in our free March Madness bracket competition. Head on over there to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket for details today. To the college basketball experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Wednesday night, March the 12th. Yes, flying solo back tonight here. Pick Dundee will be joining me here in about 15-20 minutes. They're wrapping up over there on the main SGP show. So I'm going to fire away the recap, run through these 23, 24 games that we just saw, and then we will dive into futures, look at Wednesday's slate, give out our best bets, game balls, and all that good stuff. Rocking and rolling here. Wednesday night, championship week. If you're wondering who you're listening to, I am Moneyline Mac, aka the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin.
It's Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
Oh, man, another good day in college hoops. Up and down day. Some good picks, some bad picks. Finish, I think, 500 exactly. Had a nice money line play. And then my favorite play of the day, Zags finally get the Gales. We'll talk about it all before Colby gets on, and then we will get into our futures. Hope everybody's having a good one here. Let's dive into the slate here because it started early and often in the city of Kansas City. My favorite tournament, the Big 12. Cincinnati rolls. Colby and I on the right side of this one. Honestly, never in doubt. Cincinnati finally looked like November and December Cincinnati. They completely dominated this game, led by as many as 22. And it kind of sets up a unique matchup here tomorrow between Cincinnati and Iowa State. Cincinnati's got to win that game and probably another one to even sniff being on the bubble. They may even have to win the Big 12 tournament. But finally, Cincinnati looked like Cincinnati from the non-con that got him that 15th ranking at one time. Day Thomas went for 21 and 6 steals. And, Oklahoma State beat him a couple days ago. Cincinnati, give them credit. They answer the bell. They hit Cincinnati in the mouth and get a nice win, advance, and now they play the Cyclones tomorrow in Kansas City. Next up, I was actually on the wrong side of this one. I pulled the emotional hedge here and jinxed the hell out of him. Notre Dame ends the Pitt Panthers season. No postseason for everybody's favorite Pitt Panthers. Pitt finishes the season 17-15, a same team that started 12-2. If you want to do the math, that is losers of 13 out of your last 18. Not very good. I will say I am a Pitt hater. I despise Pitt. Eat shit Pitt forever and ever. They got absolutely hosed at the end of this game. I'm not going to lie to you. That is a ridiculous foul call. Even as a Pitt hater, I hate to see a game end like that, especially when you have seniors that'll play their last game. But Pitt, the story of Pitt season, just so up and down, not good enough, and they probably should have won the game by 5 or 6 points, but they just couldn't finish. They couldn't put Notre Dame away throughout the game in the second half when they had the lead. They were asleep at the wheel in the first half. They went through the motions. They got hit in the mouth. Bad year. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Pitt had a horrible year considering they were 12-2 and everybody was crowning them a goddamn Final Four contender. So now they're not even going to go to the NIT, I don't think. So Pitt, hilarious. Eat shit Pitt forever and ever. Notre Dame advances. Now they play North Carolina here in a game where Carolina can't lose. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Grambling rolls Alabama A&M. I don't have much analysis on this one. 73-56. Grambling now takes on Southern tomorrow. Contavious Dozier went for 16-6. So a good night for him. The Tulsa and Monmouth transfer and Notre Dame. And now we get Grambling versus Southern here tomorrow. Big 12, and I am really pissed at myself that I fell for this. I'm going to blame you, chat. All the times where you chat, come in here and you blame me for a pick, and whenever you lose, I'm going to blame you guys. You guys all told me to take TCU. I said this line stinks. TCU is significantly better than Colorado. It's a revenge spot. It's the producer play of the day. Everybody's like, no, TCU's going to roll them. I'm blaming all of you watching right now. You know, this goes both goddamn ways. I'm just kidding. You guys did not hit the button for me. I ate shit with you guys on TCU. Bad play. I mean, although they did have a 3, Noah Reynolds wide open to take a 1-point lead, then they probably would have covered because then Colorado would have missed, and then they would have fouled and won by 2 or 3. But TCU, disappointing year down the stretch. They finished, I think, 16-16 overall. Losers of 5 out of 7. Now the Buffs take on my Mountaineers tomorrow. A little worried about that game. I'm not going to lie. Colorado seems like they got a little bit of magic. And there's always a couple teams that just catch red hot here. Stinky play of the day. Hope you guys tailed this one. Dixie State, losers of 14 in a row, laying 3.5 last night, went off as 6.5-point favorites. I told you, rigged game of the day. They win by 7. Dixie State, 14-game losing streak. Nobody gives a damn anymore. They're going to play Utah Valley, and this tournament is so jacked up that they got to go from Dixie now. Now they're going out to Vegas. So Dixie State snaps their 14-game losing streak, beats Southern Utah. They snapped that 14-game losing streak. They salvaged 1 out of the 3 games. So shout out to Dixie State here, at least salvaging the finale of the 3-game series. The thriller of the day here, and I know Colby would bitch if he was in here. Cal beats Virginia Tech double overtime. All Cal does is play double and triple overtime games. Cal wins 82-73. Cal is in the win column in the ACC, the inaugural ACC game. And how fitting. Cal Stanford tomorrow, second round of the ACC tournament. Set your calendars, 5 o'clock tip. It's going to be an absolute dandy between Cal and Stanford here. Virginia Tech, disappointing year, 13-19. Mike Young's going to be back next year. They got a lot of work to do, to say the least. Over to the MAAAC here. We started with the buzzer beater. Ryder beat Siena. Ryder, I was on Siena, man. I'm pissed that I lost this one. Siena led by, I think, as many as, what was their largest? 13. They're 13 with 13 damn minutes left. Completely choked this game away. Ryder comes away, steals it, wins at the buzzer. So yeah, I was 3-3 through the first 6. I did win a lock battle with Cal, by the way. Me and Colby. That was our only lock battle of the early slate. So I'll tout that win. I should have bet UTEP. UTEP gets it going. They 79-65. Kicking myself. Losers of 7 in a row, laying a point. That should be a system play of mine. I don't know why I got cute and just didn't bet it at all. Yeah, shout out to UTEP. They roll. They play Liberty tomorrow in the 1-8 game. So UTEP's been an interesting matchup for Liberty. So that's an interesting 1-8 game. Liberty, I don't think is a shoo-in like everybody else thinks so. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, let's play the Titanic music and let's read off the obituary, everybody. The day is Wednesday, March the 12th. The system of Colgate the system of Vermont are dead. Vermont, eat shit, 57-42. Maine dominated the game. I know Vermont ended up being shorthanded, but I mean, Vermont had been shorthanded for weeks. Vermont and Colgate just weren't that good this year. That's what it comes down to. They both were dominated in the semifinal games. Colgate by American, Vermont by Maine. They hold them to 42 points. I know Markwood was a former assistant coach for John Beckner, so a lot of familiarity. But yeah, rest in peace to our Catamounts. The system will return in the fall, them and Colgate. But today and tonight in this March, there will be no system on the toothpaste in the Catamounts. No dancer for Colgate and Vermont. It's going to be interesting. Maine's going to go play Bryant. Bryant looked really good. I'll talk about that here in a second. All right. I got to brag and I got to say how much of a genius I am for my Arizona State 5.5 play. Gave out K-State as a future. Caught a lot of shit from a lot of people saying, how could you give out K-State as a future and then take Arizona State in the points? Because this is what Kansas State has done all year. Kansas State can look like the best team in the Big 12 for a stretch, but then they can also look like the worst team for a stretch. They get up 15, 16 points. They mess around. They up and down game. Number lands on 5. Shout out to Arizona State for not fouling at the end. You guys, tip of my cap. I know what you guys were doing. This game they were always going to cover this game. Somehow, some way, this line reeked. Everybody and their brother, producer, everybody, Twitter capper, was on the -5.5. I told you, beware of that -5.5. That is a trap number, especially with K-State being such a public-ass side. Arizona State covers the game. Now K-State transitions from the role that they suck in, and that's a favorite. Now they're going to be a dog tomorrow against Baylor. Sneak peek. I'm going to be on K-State. But yeah, Coleman Hawkins goes for 26-8. Shout out to Coleman Hawkins. Good game from him tonight. And dude, I love Andy Toole. And I actually was one of the ones defending Robert Morris on this show the last couple of years, saying that they're actually not a bad program. They just have had a tough transition into the horizon. I missed the boat this year, man. I'm going to be straight up honest. I should have just blindly backed Robert Morris every game. They're like 27-7 ATS. I was on him a lot in November, December, and January. And then everybody started jumping on him, and I'm like, yeah, they got to stop covering eventually. No, they just kept covering. They covered like every game. Robert Morris not only wins the regular season in the Horizon, they win the tournament in the Horizon. 26-8, 15-5, and they started 2-4 in league play. So they won 16 out of their last 17 games. The score was not indicative of the actual game. This game was kind of a 5 to 6 point game, a majority of the game. But then Robert Morris was able to blow it open late. Youngstown just couldn't keep up from an offensive explosive standpoint. Robert Morris is a team, if they're your 15 seed, they're going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass. Cam Woods is a dog. They got good guards. They got good size. They're old. I like this team. I like this. I mean, I've liked him. I just didn't like him as a favorite all these times, time and time again. But they just kept rolling. Now they're going to be playing with house money. Bob Morris, what did they do against the high majors in the non-con? West Virginia killed them first. I remember that. Yeah, West Virginia dominated them. And then they went to Delaware and lost. Delaware ended up actually being pretty good in the tournament. Ohio. All right, so they only played out West Virginia for their bye games, which doesn't really tell us much. They beat Towson in the non-con. That's a good win. So, but anyway, nevertheless, good win, Robert Morris. The dream season lives on. Bob Morris sweeps the regular season and tournament. Oakland was the first time in like 7 years last year that did it. Now Bob Morris piggybacks him here. And like I said, they're going to be a tough out come March. So shout out to Andy Toole and the Colonials. Other game, Wilmington, Delaware. I can't believe I didn't cover this game. Wilmington led by, they're up 15 at one point, late first half. But then Delaware, man, in these damn timely threes. Delaware just would not go away. They found a way to cover the number. Wilmington finally gets over the hump. Takeo Siddle finally gets a former Kevin Keats assistant. Year 5, he's been knocking on the door. They've won 20-plus 4 straight years, and I know we have some Towson fans that are losing their goddamn mind saying, we should fire Pat Scarry. We have nothing to show for it. No. Siddle is a perfect reason why you back a guy like Scarry. If you keep winning 20 to 25 games year after year after year after year, you are going to knock down the damn door eventually. And that's what Wilmington did this year. They had some heartbreak over the last couple marches, but it's hard to win. It's hard to win the conference tournament. I think everybody can agree upon that. And they finally get it done. They beat Charleston last night. That was their kryptonite. And I thought they actually were going to roll tonight. And early on, I thought they were going to. But Delaware, give them a lot of credit, man. Inglesby and company, they didn't quit. Mike Bray was in attendance. Kevin Keats was in attendance, coming back to watch their former schools. So Wilmington, good luck to the 4 seed that draws Wilmington in the round of 64. That's going to be a headache. Wilmington's won a tournament game before. And then you just look at their track record too. They went to the Fog. They were competitive in that game. They also beat Gulf Coast. They beat Asheville. They beat Marshall. They beat ECU on the road. They beat – who else did they beat? They beat Georgia Southern on the road. They have good wins. They played in the CAA 27-7. They got size. They got seniors. Donovan Newby's a dog. I think that this is going to be a tough out if you're a 4 seed drawing these Seahawks. All right, let's talk about – I can't believe we didn't cover this game. McNeese with the phony cover of the night. Definitely the most phony cover of the night was McNeese covering 12.5 or 16.5 is what we got last night on the show. They end the game on a 12-0 run over the last 3 minutes. It was literally a 7-point game with 3 minutes, and Northwestern State does not cover 16.5. Right side, every now and then this will happen where Northwestern State just kept fouling for whatever reason, and then the turnovers at the end. So if you had McNeese, get on your knees and thank God you got lucky as hell in this cover. And yeah, that's my analysis. McNeese is really good. Don't get me wrong. They jumped out to a 19-4 lead to start the game, but then it was a 6-7 point. It was, dude. Northwestern State had the thing down to 5 multiple times in the second half. I thought Northwestern State actually played really, really well. They just ran out of gas, and then McNeese had the phony cover because Northwestern State wouldn't stop fouling. But Rick Cabrera does a good job in year number 2. McNeese, championship game tomorrow against Lamar. We know McNeese. They're probably going to win. They're laying double digits in a championship game. The bracket is rigged for them. I mean, I know there was some controversy after the game. The tournament's at their site, and they have a double bye. It's made for them to win. But give them credit. They earned the 1 seed, and they are rolling right now. All right, let's go back to the year 1944 because there was a game played in the 40s here tonight. St. Francis goes to New Britain, knocks off the Blue Devils 46-43. What the hell, Central Connecticut? Oh, my God, this team has been a wagon. The nation's longest winning streak comes to an end. They score 43 on their home floor. St. Francis gets it done. An unbelievable win. I mean, just gritty, gutty win. Rob Krimmel at his alma mater gets St. Francis back to the dance. They beat Wagner, the defending champs. They go to LIU, beat them, and now they beat Central Connecticut, the best team in the league. They're going dancing. And you know, I heard this tonight. It feels like the NEC road team always wins these championship games. So a tip of the cap to the Red Flash, man. To hold Central Connecticut, who has been boat racing teams in this league, 46-43. They're going to be in the playing game, and they're going to be a fun team to watch in that playing game. So a shout-out to St. Francis winning the NEC. Another shout-out, let's talk to losing team. Florida State went down. We missed on this one. Syracuse defeats them 66-62. They advance. They play SMU tomorrow. But the storyline, Leonard Hamilton's legendary career comes to an end. They could not extend it another night. So just a tip of the cap to Leonard Hamilton. Hell of a career, 40-plus years. Changed the game for a lot A lot of young coaches, a big role model in this industry. His days at Austin Peay, then in Miami in the NBA, finishing at Florida State. He was great at Florida State the last 2 decades. I know it wasn't exactly the best finishes or best finish the last 3-4 years in the portal NIL era, but the grand scheme of things, multiple Sweet 16s and ACC titles, and just a tip of the cap to Leonard Hamilton. So I'll take a sip here. Cheers, Leonard Hamilton, on a hell of a career. He will be missed, and it's always sad to see the legends go, but the show must go on. So cheers, Leonard Hamilton. All right, let's talk FAMU Prairie View, because it was 75-66 if you did not know. FAMU advances. FAMU will now get a crack at Jackson State next tomorrow, so we'll preview that game. Didn't get much odds on it, so can't give you an analysis here. Sacred Heart beat Fairfield 71-58. Kind of a disappointing year for Fairfield. Fairfield was up and down. They were good at home, but they were really bad away from home. Sacred Heart's underrated, in my opinion. I think Merrimack's going to have their hands full tomorrow night. Sacred Heart's got some veterans. They're playing well, and they lost a bunch of close games in the regular season. So watch out for Sacred Heart the rest of this tournament. These Pioneers are live in the MAAAC. So, all right, game of the night here, and finally, they came through for us. They actually been coming through for us for over 2 weeks now. Gonzaga. I have not missed a Gonzaga game since that last St. Mary's game. Gonzaga has picked up quietly 3 quad 1 wins over the last 10 days since dropping senior day. And tonight was the first one. Actually, the last game against San Francisco, when they went up there in that stupid Warriors arena and really handed to them. Gonzaga is going to be in the second weekend. I don't care what seeds they're going to be, 6 or 7. They're not going to be in the 8-9 anymore because they won this game. I'll guarantee they're going to be in the Sweet 16 or beyond. Tonight was the first night where you really saw them play at a championship level defense. They've been running teams out of the gym offensively. They only scored 58 points. They couldn't make a shot the whole night. St. Mary's couldn't even get off a shot the last 5 minutes of the game. They had like 4 or 5 shot clock violations. Finally, Gonzaga put together a championship level game. It's the best I've seen Gonzaga play since the Baylor game or San Diego State game the first week of the year. Graham Ike is playing out of his mind. They got to get him the ball more, to be honest. Khalif Battle was awesome. And then the big guy, Braden Huff. Braden Huff was huge down the stretch. A couple short rolls, made a couple big-time floaters. Nemhard got him the ball. But, yeah, I'm high on the Zag. I've been high on the Zags all year. I mean, I thought their advanced metrics, advanced analytics were a little too far, but they had just lost a shitload of close games. I've seen their ceiling. Maybe they're bored playing in the regular season. I don't know, but they haven't been bored the last 2 weeks, and they definitely put it into another gear. St. Mary's is good too, man. I think St. Mary's can get to a Final Four. They got size. They're tough, and they got an identity. And I've said this over and over on this show. Everybody said San Diego State was a choke artist. Everybody said Gonzaga was a choke artist until they weren't. You just keep knocking on the door, and this is my point with Towson and Wilmington, the CAA. You keep knocking on that damn door, getting there over and over again like Purdue last year, you're eventually going to knock the damn door down and advance and get that monkey off your back. Can St. Mary's now do it in the NCAA tournament? They've been a 5 seed or a 4 seed the last 4 or 5 years, and they bowed out in the round of 64, round of 32. Can they get this thing to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, and maybe even a Final Four? I think they can. I think they got enough dudes. I think that they have an identity, and I think this is their best team that they've had under Randy Bennett. No shame in losing to Gonzaga finally after they swept their ass in the regular season. So I love both these teams. I'd love to see them play again, maybe in an Elite 8 or Final Four matchup. So really high on both these teams going forward, Mark Few and Randy Bennett. Brandon, I don't know if you watched the game tonight. St. Mary's couldn't get off a shot the last 5 minutes of the game, and they held them to 50 points. So, yeah, in the regular season, I do agree that their defense sucked. It did not tonight. It did not tonight when they needed it the most. So, Zags 58, St. Mary's 51. Both teams really high on them going into March. Bryant is a wagon. Bryant even had an injury, and they still rolled Albany here tonight. 91-78. Bryant. So Bryant doesn't have Vermont to deal with now. They're going to get Maine in the championship game. And it's Bryant's just wagging right now. They really, honestly, that game wasn't even as close as the 14-point game as the final score reflected. It was 85-60 with 6.5 minutes. Bryant completely dominated this game. They could have named the score. They went through the motions at the end. So the Bulldogs, Phil Martelli Jr. will go for the regular season title and the postseason title here the next game. So Saturday, 11 a.m., we got Bryant versus Maine for a shot in the dance. A blowout and no 4-peat in the Big Sky. Northern Colorado, and we were on the right side of this one. Northern Colorado embarrassed Montana State tonight. I thought that they would win by 10. I did not think that they would win by 30, 27. Montana State, we saw this in the Summit. The teams that had to play the back-to-back versus the teams that played a game, got the rest of the day, then come back with fresh legs. The teams that had the day off absolutely boat raced the teams that had the back-to-back. Omaha and the Tommies completely dominated their semifinals, and it was Northern Colorado and Montana absolutely drilling Montana State and Idaho tonight. So Starch Madness goes chalk. We got Northern Colorado. We got Montana in the finals. Both teams look super, super sharp tonight, and that's going to be a hell of a championship game here tomorrow night. Upset in the Conference USA. I was on the right side of this one. I think I brought Colby along too. FIU beats Western Kentucky 64-61. Western Kentucky was a disappointment this year. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Up and down team. Hank Plona, year number 1. That's disappointing going 17-15. So FIU, nice win. They get a shot at Jack State here tomorrow. And then this game completely turned on its head. UCF beats Utah 87-72. Utah had a 12-point lead in the first half. And then UCF came out of the half down 1. They were up 17 in the blink of an eye. They went on like a 45-15 run. UCF made some shots tonight that they usually don't. 10 of 24 from 3. Utah 4 of 26. UCF will get the Kansas Jayhawks in the late game tomorrow in Kansas City. And the final game before Colby jumps on, Lamar Nichols 58-55. What a damn win for Lamar. They weren't even that good tonight. Like they got outplayed the entire game, and I don't know how they won. They were down double digits in the second half. They just kept plugging. I had Nichols. I thought I know I was on the right side. They led the game for 30 minutes. But yeah, shout out to Lamar. Alvin Brooks gets a shot now at McNeese. So we got McNeese. We got Chalk there. We got McNeese. Lamar for the Southland Championship. And that does it for the Tuesday recap. Pick Dundee now joining us. Just got done wrapping up all 23 games. He's getting ready to hit an ad if you want to take it.
Sure. What good work, and yeah, I mean, what a day of hoops. What a crazy day of hoops. I know you were talking Lamar and Nichols. I can't believe we lost that game, man. We should have hit that game, in my opinion. How do you miss that layup down the stretch? Unbelievable stuff. Yeah. So you've already done one ad read?
I didn't do it. I was just going to cram them both together.
Right on. All right, folks, what I tell you, the college basketball experience. Well, we are part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And yeah, we're going to be in Vegas, and it is March Madness. And we got Merch Madness going on. So we got everything going on right now. And guess what? We're giving away $2,000 in our free March Madness bracket competition. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket to sign up today. $2,000. And then, is that not enough? Because guess what? Come compete against us this March, and we're giving away $75,000 winner take all college basketball survivor contest. Enter at splashsports.com/SGPN. Once again, splashsports.com/SGPN. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Yes, SGPN's partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And you know your money is safe as it's the card's FDIC insured. And the best part is no credit checks. That's gold. And it's completely free. Sign up today. Use that promo code SGPN to get better cashback rewards and instant tier 2 status. That's edgeboost.bet promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every single sport. They got props for every game, and MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations. You can easily deposit and get lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head on over to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code TCE SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Once again, that's mybookie.ag, promo code TCE SGPN. All right, we are back. And yeah, I mean, so you want to do game balls?
Yeah, let's do game balls. And people were asking for my Pitt breakdown. Horrible, pathetic call. But Pitt was pathetic too today.
Still, you can't call it.
It was a horrible call. Like I could, as much as I hate Pitt, and I think it's hilarious that they lost 14.
Your season ends like that. That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, it was horrible.
Tough.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
But I also am like watching them in the first half, and I'm like, how do you not have any pop? It's a new season. Like, how are you going through the motions after you've lost 13 out of damn 17? So they suck, and it was a shitty call. So I mean. Two things.
You can still smile about it. Shout
out to
losing
money. Losing money, I can earn this thing.
Shout out to Dave Robinson. Hey guys, shout out from the home of Mick Dundee here in Australia. We appreciate you in the land down under here as well. Well, we appreciate you, man. And I got a lot of friends in Australia. I spent some time working with some pals. That I got to get over there. Some all over there. I feel like Perth and Melbourne. I got to get over there at some point, man. Love the great country, even though I have yet to go. So I definitely need to go. Cheers, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. I mean, the refs were bad today. The announcing, I'm gonna throw a flag and say the announcing was worse than the refs. If I hear one more shit, I just run on this rant on SGP about, how many. There's an agenda being pumped right in front of our face about this 4 quarters shit and this 24-second shot clock and this advance the ball shit.
Oh God!
How many times do I got to hear that today? How many times do I got to hear that today? And how many times do you got to hear it? Because I mentioned this on SGP. But I'm just not going to let this die silently into the night here. I like to think I make an impact, even though I know I don't. I mean, I'm very
to retire again,
dude. But it was like multiple games today.
Yeah,
talking about this.
Behi was pushed into retirement 2 years ago. It's time to push him into retirement of his neck gig. He was terrible today. Him and Corey Alexander were horrible.
And I normally like Corey Alexander. I went to a basketball camp with him a long time ago.
They just need to stop televising the ACC games. Just get them off. Like, nobody needs to see that or hear their announcing. It's just a bad product, top to bottom.
Dude, I talk passionately about the court storm thing because I really buy into you should be able to storm the court or the field or whatever. I really do. Like, I think we're in the wrong. People don't get injured on that. The only injury, like the same percentage of injury, can be had the night before at the fucking. Actually, there's probably a less at the night before when they're at the fucking nightclub or going to get fucking KFC or some shit. So, but I am even more adamant on the advance the ball one.
So bad.
That one is, to me. You're cheating the game to me. The NBA did this shit to me that is against the game. It doesn't make sense at any other point in the game. I hate it. I really don't want that to creep into the sport. And then they're trying to do that. I'm very anti the shot clock thing. I actually think it should still be at 35 personally. I think it gives an element of strategy that when you watch the NBA, and I don't know if it was Boeheim, I don't know which fucking guy I heard today say, well, we get faster. We get to 24 seconds. You go down the court. The game's faster. It's more excitement. And I'm like, I could not disagree more. I think styles make fights. You have a team like UVA won a national championship with like the 360th pace. Wisconsin's been there deep in March and went to the national championship. Some of these mid majors, that's their advantage. And that's where coaching can matter. It's like, oh, you're playing a fast paced Alabama team or a fast pace, go back and study that Iona Alabama game, by the way. I think that was exactly Pitino's game plan. That is what makes college basketball light years better than the NBA. Why do we want to keep trying to be the NBA?
It's a bad product.
When the ratings are down and, I feel like everyone I talk to doesn't even watch the fucking sport. They're like, no, this fucking product's terrible. So it's like, why do you want to be that then? Jay Billis talked about this weeks ago. I heard 4 different suits today trying to be and the 4-quarter thing is probably the one that bothers me the least, but I just don't understand why. I don't understand why. Why should we fuck up the game that we have right now that seems to be, a winning product? It's like taking the field to 96 teams. I don't understand why everyone is tinkering with this fucking thing that seems to get monster numbers every postseason.
The NBA is ass. And if you want proof, the head coach of the Boston Celtics said so. He said it's boring. He said, I don't even watch it. I just coach it. Basically, it's a nice paycheck, but I don't like watching the product because all teams do it, and they do it too, but it's all analytics. And all teams do is shoot threes, corner threes. And what they want to turn it into with this, what would happen if we had a 24 shot clock? Here's what would happen. More bad shot selection. You would run your initial set. Oh, it's not there. Okay, let me set a ball screen, and then I'm going to jack up some fucked up shot late in the shot clock, and that's what it would be. It would be a bad product. I agree with you. I like the 35-second shot clock. I actually kind of like 45, to be honest. I think it should be more. I think strategy should be a part of it.
It drives me crazy because I don't know if it's just the fact that they're paranoid of the younger generation with the faster attention span, but like strategy is the game. Like
it's not baseball. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like you want to see more like why are you watching the fucking game? You know what I mean? Like you want to see the elements of coaching. I talk about this all the time. Like, there was a Frank Vogel thing of, him coaching with the Lakers where at one point the LA Times covered a story of like, they weren't running his plays. He tried to take LeBron out. LeBron wanted to stay in. He ends up fouling out, but you're kind of not even a coach. Mike Leach was talking. I mean, I know I've talked about this before on this show. It's like Mike Leach was talking to us about his boy Kingsbury being the Cardinals head coach. Was like, you don't get to hire your special teams guy. You don't get to hire your defensive coordinator. You don't get to. You're just a glorified coach. You're not really a coach, right? Like, and he meant that with love to his buddy, to his former player. But I want to see the strategy. Coaching matters. You're removing coaching by doing this. Coaching, yes, there can still be an element of coaching, but I still think like you're making it less of an impact, and that's not good for the sport, in my opinion. I don't know. It drives me crazy. The 4 quarters thing, I don't understand either. But I just don't understand any of it. Why are we chasing a product that's bad?
I've never understood the advance the ball argument. Why should you be rewarded for calling
that one? No, that's the one. I'm the biggest. I will like die on that hill. I believe the best games I've ever seen in my life involved big time plays like that. The Leitner shot, Melvin Levitt against Duke with Cincinnati, Bryce Drew against Ole Miss, the Michigan game winner against Houston. Even though I ate shit on that play, having the elements where you can do this, and it just doesn't. It's not consistent with the rest of the game. It's a dumb fucking thing,
They say it'd be more buzzer beaters. I disagree. I don't think it would be any more buzzer beaters.
Tyus Edney, exactly. I mean, we can go on and on and on. That I am very, very adamant on that needs to stay, because if not, it becomes like fucking TMZ and it becomes like slam ball or arena football or some shit. Like when you add in these wacky rules that just don't make sense with the rest of the game, I have a fucking big issue with that.
What's the NBA rule? Inside of 2 minutes, you can advance it. I go, why inside 2 minutes? Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's so dumb.
You want the ball on the side, and that's where you want it. You know what you do? You dribble up, timeout. Or if you got 5 seconds, you got to run a play. You got to catch it on the sideline, timeout. That's how you get your side out, not timeout. All right, yeah, we'll take it up there. Why should you get it up there? That's like football. If you're down a touchdown with 30 seconds left, yeah, we'll take the ball on the opposing 35-yard line.
Well, like, and look, I've had a problem. I have a problem with the college football overtime rules. I would prefer it to be further back, but even with that, at least it's in overtime where they're like, and the game is I understand, like, you're trying to get the game over with because of fatigue and stuff, but I still argue that even to this day. But the college basketball one, man, I don't understand who's pushing it. I mean, clearly, like Kramer was saying with the SGP show, was like it's like the fact that they've like 7 different announcers have put this out there in the past 2 weeks makes me think that they probably are pushing this out to see people's reactions. Please don't do this to our game. Please don't do this to our game. It ruins the validity to me of the game. It's just not necessary. I don't understand why we're doing this. I'm even on board. You know which one I'm on board with? Even though, like, I would prefer it not be, but like I would be willing to meet you in the middle on the 6 fouls. I still like the 5 because I like valuing fouls, but I would even say if we're going to change one, that's the one I'm probably most willing to change.
Yeah, because it would mean more players playing at the end of games. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that.
I still think a foul should be deemed very important, but the problem is you have so many questionable calls. So like, what's one more foul? Gives it someone a chance. I mean, we saw fouls called today on people that you're just like, huh, what? So I would be willing to say 6 fouls. I get it. We want the best players to play. Also, we know that human error is such a huge element in basketball. Like, so like from a reffing point of view, it's such a common, I mean, every game you watch, there's like 4 or 5 missed calls where you're calling fouls. So why jeopardize, someone? We want them to have a positive experience playing basketball.
What is the obsession with this 4 quarters? I don't understand why they're like obsessed with it.
My thing is it's just 8 minutes longer then? Would they make the game 48 minutes?
No, I think they would split it 10-10.
I have no idea the logic on that. I just don't understand why we need to do that. But besides, I guess commercials, would they add in more TV timeouts? I don't know.
I don't understand. It's not broke right now. Why do we need to change it just to change?
Well, it's like the 96 thing, the 96 team thing Sankey's pushing. No one has ever said this. This is just a money creation from the networks. I've never once heard. I bartended for a long fucking time at sports bars, hotel bars where you're watching these games. I have never once heard say, you know what, man, 68. We gotta add more teams. I've never once heard one fucking fan say that. I just, they're pushing something that isn't needed. You know what I mean? And that it seems to be everywhere now.
And they've already tipped their hand on it. Yormark said today, top 60 in the net, and then the next 16 automatic qualifiers. So more teams, but less mid-majors. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't need more SEC, Big 10, and Big 12. They have plenty of chances to get to the dance, and ACC. They got plenty of chances. North Carolina, you played 12 damn quad 1 games. How about win more than one? More than one.
One that I heard that I actually think I would be on board with, and I forget who the fuck said this in the past 3 weeks. I think it might have been, I don't know. I don't want to be wrong. So because I can't say this with 100% validity, but I'd be okay with 10 more games.
I agree with that.
People have said like, hey, let's go from 30 to 40 games. Was that Pope? Yeah.
And that makes sense because the landscape has changed with the portal and NIL. Like rosters, you have a new team every year. So, and you know what it would allow?
Rematches.
It would allow more challenges. Like SEC Big 12 could have a challenge. SEC Big 10 could have a challenge. Like all the Power 4, Power 5s, whatever.
Well, also you would get like an Arkansas Kentucky second matchup. Like I like with the unbalanced schedules. I'm okay with like that's one that I actually think I would vote for as another week or two of hoops.
Yeah,
but you just I don't want to play. But I don't want to push it further into. I want March Madness. I think you just start like October 16th or something,
or just make them play 3 times a week.
Yeah,
they're getting paid. It's a profession now.
Yeah,
you can't go academics in class. No, you got guys making $2-3 million a year. Lace them up and play. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's resets. Yeah, resets the team fouls. Yeah, I don't like that.
No,
you got to make things like
strategy.
To me
strategy.
Yes. When you add more elements, when you add more elements into it, like it's I don't know, man. It's tough. It's like I think we've lost. I mean, hopefully none of these changes are made, but I think you lose if you're not coming into it thinking about the actual strategy of the game. If you're just thinking about marketing and saying, well, they run down the court, they can score more points, but I think you've lost it from the start. So from the start, you should be thinking about the actual game, and what draws you into the game. Like what elements of the game, like, just the core of the game is strategy. Strategy is number one. That's why you have a zone defense. You double team guys, you box out, like they just everything that you teach.
Yeah.
It's a strategy. You know what I mean? Like I know that strategies can be built based off of the changes that you're going to put in there, but I also think it's going to downsize some of the strategy by going to a smaller shot clock, and that's never good.
Well, and this is where it's different than the NBA, and this is the same in college football and with the NFL. We can pay these guys all we want. The faces of the sport are the coaches in college. It's not like the college athletes, obviously, like a Cooper Flagg is going to be a unique, special player. Zion, when he was there, Hansborough and guys like that. But the faces and the coaches, the Izzos, the Patinos, the Bill Selfs, those guys, like that's why we love the sport. Like we love the culture of the fan base that goes in with it with the coach. And I hate like, all right, let's just let's make it 4 quarters to bail out if a team's in foul trouble. No, let's see you go.
You should pay that price.
Let's see you go zone and hide your foul trouble. Let's see if you've been practicing a 2-3 zone or a 1-3-1 zone. Make John Shire coach rather than just go, I have the best players, roll out the balls and play. Nobody wants to watch that.
100%.
Coach and make them put players in a position to succeed.
And I can't emphasize enough to me. We're in a society that I think, my whole generations was partly responsible for. It's just to me dumbing everything down. And it's terrible. I think it's terrible. Like one of the things I love that got me involved with wanting to watch, college football over pro or college basketball over pro is the styles, the innovation. You know what I mean? Like the innovation and styles normally never start on the pro front. I mean, occasionally it will, but rarely. Most of it comes down from high school or college ranks. But I love, and I've talked about this a lot on the football show, but I love seeing an air raid team or a triple option. I remember when Mike Leach invented the air raid, right? And he brought that shit to the SEC at Kentucky with Tim Couch. And I mean, they were still losing their ass, but all of a sudden you wanted to watch that, right? And the same could be said for college basketball. This happens all the time. I mean, if you remove some of the strategy there, I want to see difference. I want to see difference. I want to see Tony Bennett's team go up against, or Rick Barnes. Remember that was a classic, right? And you can go. That's part of the fun. Is Nate Oates is a perfect one, right? But like getting that those styles different. That's the attraction of the game to me. I know maybe I would love to see, like, am I in the minority these days? I kind of think I am by saying like that, but I feel like people just want scoring. But man, you're going to lose out on something that's great. And one of the things I love about whatever college football or college basketball is when you got Tony Bennett going up against a high powered offense or vice versa, or Tom Izzo's teams, when those Izzo teams were slow and not the greatest shooting teams, and you lose something when you ditch all that. So, and the same can be said with football, a triple option team against an air raid team, vice versa, run and shoot against power I, whatever that is. When I watch the NFL or the NBA, it's the same shit. Everyone's running the same shit. It's boring as fuck to me. Absolutely boring as fuck to me. Even the NFL, which gets power ratings, I'm just like, oh great, they're all running variations of the fucking air raid, right? It's mundane, and I don't feel like normal people see it like that anymore. Unfortunately,
that's just because the corporate BS is trying to cram that down our throat. Unfortunately, but got to push back on this platform and I said the coaches are the centerpiece, the fan bases too. The fan base, and that's why we're so passionate about the court storming is, I mean, anybody that watched the Gonzaga St. Mary's game tonight, you can't tell me that the Gonzaga fans didn't make a difference on the stretch. I mean, that place was rocking. And anybody that says that home court and home atmospheres don't matter, that they don't play in the game, they're just fans in there, never played on the road in their life in one of these environments.
That's the other element of it, of why it's better and why you shouldn't try to make it pro. Yes. Is because pro is corporate dollars. I mean, I know we have a long show to do, so I don't want to just ramble, but I'm saying, like, I was fortunate enough to I thought I was fortunate enough to get, I had pretty much access to anything at the Staples Center, concerts. So I would go to like a shit ton of Lakers and Clippers games. And this is actually where it kind of hit me. I was like, I would bartend on this law firm that was just like hooking me up. Whenever I went, I was good to be part of this, but it was like a happy hour for them, right? Like they had like second row seats, like the best seats I've ever had in my life. And I would go to these games, and that's when it hit me that I think the NBA sucks. Like before that, I was always an NBA fan. I mean, I always preferred college, but I just thought basketball is basketball. I love it. And then I started to go to these NBA games on the regular. And I was like, specifically the regular season, I would say playoffs, it gets a little more intense, but
it makes you go to sleep.
I was like, they're not even fucking trying. Like a good chunk of them for big portions of the game are not trying. I remember, I mean, I've told this story many times on here, but I remember it was a Clippers game and I was sitting there. It was like Blake Griffin era. And I was like, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan could give a fuck about winning this game. They didn't. I mean, Patrick Beverly did, but I was just like, I like those guys. Blake Griffin, like he seems like a great dude, but I was just like, I watched this game and I was front row and I was like, this team, and they were playing, I don't forget. I think it was, I want to say it was the like Orlando Magic or something, but they just didn't give a fuck. The game was a waste of a game. Like in my opinion, like I was like, I can't believe I got these tickets for free that say like $3,000 on the tickets. But I was like, can you imagine paying that much money and then seeing this? I'll give it up to Patrick Beverly because I thought he was busting his ass. But I thought everybody else, especially like the stars, did not fucking really care. They didn't really care. And I can see it. When you watch the game, you can fucking see it, man. Especially when you're that close. I feel like it was like you're supposed to be blown away when you sit that close. I was blown away by the lack of effort. throughout the whole game, even from the opposing team. I felt like there was times I was like, what are we doing? I was like, why am I even fucking here? So, it was like a happy hour too. That was another thing. It was like a corporate happy hour. People were just doing their Instagram of like, hey, I was like, no one even gives a fuck about basketball here.
No, it's horrible.
I don't want to be here. You know what I mean? So anyway, game balls. We get sidetracked easily here. What'd you say your game ball was?
Bob Morris. They win the regular season and tournament. Shout out to Bob Morris.
Very impressive. Very impressive. That was an unbelievable season. I hope they win in March. I mean, to tell you the truth, but well, in the tournament, I mean, yeah. St. Francis game ball. I tried to tell you motherfuckers. About the NEC only scoring 43 points at home. Long Island didn't even do this. All right. I tried to tell you. I tried to fucking tell you. St. Francis does have a horseshoe up their ass, though. They do have a horseshoe up their ass, and I'm terrified that they're going to lose by 70 in the NCAA tournament. Your thoughts on that game? I didn't get to hear him, dude.
I gave an obituary. Yeah, Central Connecticut, man. I mean, 43 points on your championship, and they had 3 days to prepare for it. That one.
Long Island would have got him, dude. They would have got him. I feel fucking good about
like
that.
This, hell yeah. Those are like we said. Towson's gonna like really eat at them for a long time. This one may top all of them. All they had to do was score 47 and they're going. Like,
I mean, that place was lit too, man. Yeah. Those poor fans. I'm talking about the NBA ones. At least these ones are basketball fans, are passionate about the University of Central Connecticut State. Man, that's some shit. There was more excitement at the water fountain. I guarantee you. Tough. Where's your next game ball?
Maine. They went into Vermont and
what was that, man?
We already gave the obituary for the systems. It's dead. It's dead.
Shout out to Maine, though. I've always thought, much in Vermont's vein, Maine. Well, first, like, I don't understand. Like, if you're a solo state school, you should be good at football and basketball. You have the resources. You should have the resources at least.
Yeah.
So Maine, you have they should be an FBS football team. And they should be a decent basketball school. They should probably like throw more money in there to get in the AAC or something. It does not make sense to me if you're a state that does not have like a legit chance to yearly make the NCAA tournament. And Maine's been asked for a few years now. So anyway, next game ball, I will go to Lamar because I don't know how the fuck you won this game. Good God, Nichols wide open layup. Great play design, 2 out of the timeout. Lamar played good though. They battled back. They were down big at one point, man. 12 points, 14 points, something like that. Shout out to Lamar with such a, you win and you're in.
You ready for another Gonzaga Sweet 16?
I am excited about them.
They're like things clicked over the last 2 weeks. They didn't even make a shot the whole night tonight, and they still beat St. Mary's. I know St. Mary's didn't make a shot either, but Gonzaga, like, to play that game in the 50s, that's a game St. Mary's is supposed to win. So Zags big time. They finally get St. Mary's. They owed them one. They owed them one bad.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go to the airport in the final one. The airport, baby.
Let's go. I was on that.
We were on that, man. I mean, I didn't bet it, but I took the airport. They're better than their record. I've said that every time I've watched them this year. I go, I don't understand how they're. That's why I think they're a team on the take, is because I believe that team is better. Like when I visually watch them. Based on an 8-22 record, I'm like, no, they're better than 8-22. They have some athletic guys. Someone should be investigating, or their coach should be fired because they have too much. Well, they should be like 15-15. You know what I mean? At least. So
yeah, he's done. I mean, he after this year, he's done. So this is
they got that Pitbull money coming in.
Yeah, Nothing to lose here, and FIU's going to play with house money in this tournament.
Shout out to Vincent Lee. I've been watching this show for a long time. First catching y'all live. Great show. Sprinkle that motherfucking money line. Appreciate you, Vince, man. Turn it in. We are tuning in, turning in, right? Well, turning in is probably what you're going to be in like 10 minutes when this show's, still 6 a.m. or some shit. But thank you, man. And yeah, thanks for everyone tuning in. We've turned this into something that I don't want to say that I didn't think we could get here because I thought we could. But it's just cool. It's just cool talking to people that love the sport, I think, like us, and love gambling, but also love the sport. I always like to say, I know we're on a gambling network, but I think the love comes first, and I think the passion comes first for football and basketball. And I think that hopefully that shows with the presentation to you. Folks, before we get to tomorrow's action, I want to tell you the college basketball experience is brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is throwing an epic March Madness party. And guess what? You listening, watching, wherever the fuck you are, you're invited. Yes, and all Rhythm users are invited to a first four watch party Wednesday, March 19th at the awesome Stadium Swim at the Circa Las Vegas. Free motherfucking drinks. Plus, you get to hang out with Pick Dundee, myself, yes, and I got to be a true asshole. I refer to myself in third person, and then a bunch of other SGPN talking heads, talking suits. That suit, that Bet Detective son of a gun, and a slew of other people out there. So come on out. It gets better too. Rhythm's also giving away a $250 March Madness future for one random lucky Rhythm user. Even if you can't make the party, you can still hit with the future bet. Come by, use the Rhythm app. Use Rhythm to help you fill out your bracket and make some bets while you're out there. And look, Rhythm, I don't want to just say like, oh, well, you just pumping this thing. They weren't. The stats from last year were phenomenal. They had UConn winning it all. All right. And they also predicted Duquesne, NC State, and Oakland upsets. 45% of Rhythm brackets had NC State reaching the Sweet 16. So they were on to something there. So what do you got? What do you got going here? It's a free party. You get to hang out with us, free cocktails, chance to win $250 future bet. You can meet your fucking next wife. Maybe your next ex-wife, depending on everything going on. You can just have a good old time. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for the details. Once again, that's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/pate. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Man, Cannabis Capper, my guy, he's killing it with Underdog Fantasy every fucking day. Right in the article, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. You can find a college basketball and college football edge here that I really, truly believe you can't find elsewhere. And I'm just assuming it's like that for a lot of the other sports that I don't follow as much, like NBA or NHL. I have friends of mine that have said that. I know for UFL, CFL, you can find that edge as well. So jump on over there, NFL as well. Whatever sport you can think of, they have everything: golf, MMA, NASCAR. Underdog's offering a Luka discount too for every Laker game the rest of the regular season. So sign up and use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits there. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back and ready to roll. And you know what sucks today, man? I was hoping to get more time. So I have the brackets slides. I got like 75% done with all the game slides, but I couldn't get to. I got my wife's got a really bad back right now, so like I got to put my son to sleep, and that shit takes like an hour sitting there rocking him back and forth. So I just didn't get through all the fucking games. So I didn't even bother to bring up the game slides because it's like it's like 75% done. So my apologies in advance, but we do have a bunch of tournaments starting tomorrow here. And we start off with the Atlantic 10 tournament, the A10. Hopefully this isn't too small of a font for you. YouTube.com/the college experience. Hit that like and subscribe button. Washington DC once we go from the CAA to the A10, beautifully done. Beautifully done. And the odds for this tournament is VCU minus 120, George Mason plus 450, Dayton plus 500, St. Joe's plus 800, the Ramblers and I ramble on, Loyola Chicago plus 1400, the Bonnies plus 1800, and the Billikens plus 2000, G Dub plus 2200, Duquesne, the Dukes, CJ Sullivan, the Bet Detectives alma mater plus 6000. Davidson plus 7,000, and then you hop on over to the other side of this thing. Rhode Island plus 11,000, UMass with Frank plus 25,000, Richmond the Spiders, Chris Mooney plus 30,000, and Fran our boy plus 30,000, as well as Fordham plus 30,000 as well. I'm just gonna go back to this bracket for a second, and I want you to hear me out here. I know you're saying, Dundee, you're just doing fucking shtick. Frank has beat Fran's ass this year, both games. I can't deny that. But if Fran can get past UMass, they recently beat the shit out of St. Joe's, right? You gotta like it, because if, like, who knows about that Dayton game, but they should have beat George Mason in Fairfax. Now I know it's DC. Mason will have that crowd. Mm-hmm. It's worth a tiny little sprinkle on Fran, a tiny little sprinkle. I don't expect them to win the A10 tournament, but I'm just saying St. Joe's, they just beat. George Mason was a 1 possession game with a minute left in Fairfax. Both are on that side of the fucking bracket. I actually think it's kind of chalky here, man. I'm looking at that north side of the bracket and I go, who the hell should I take? I don't trust Loyola Chicago away from Chicago. So I kind of think VCU is the play to run through this thing. Up top. Down south? Now you can sell me on some chaos happening. Mason plays a defensive game where I feel like G Dub could upset Mason.
Yeah.
But I could also see Rhode Island taking down G Dub. Right? I could see UMass or LaSalle upsetting St. Joe's. I could also see St. Joe's upsetting Dayton. So you're talking about chaos in the South. What are you doing here? LaSalle's one that stood out to me just because of the value. I don't think they're like a serious contender, but maybe you could find a spot where you get a couple rounds and I don't know. You know, we don't like to hedge here, but I'm saying you might have an opportunity. I personally think with VCU losing, I think VCU is coasting into the championship game. So once again, to go back to the odds here, you're getting VCU. It's minus 120. There's no value on that. I'm just going to play George Mason because they're going to have the crowd, right? George Mason, we agree that, I mean, not against G Dub though. I don't know about G Dub. G Dub might have some fans there for that, but if Mason plays Dayton, if Mason plays VCU, I think Mason will have an edge. Now VCU should travel well there, but plus 450. I'm just going to take a shot on LaSalle and I want to take a shot on George Mason. What are you doing here?
I'm going to take Dayton. I think that they're playing well. They went to VCU the last game of the year, and they got to win the tournament or they're not going dancing. So we've seen Anthony Grant in this spot pop up and win the tournament before when he's had to.
What about the Bonnies? Bonnies beat VCU this year.
Yeah, the Bonnies. Now the tricky thing with the Bonnies is Duquesne's going to be a tricky game.
Yeah, but I just feel like Schmidt has that track record of in the tournament. He ups it a little bit.
I like St. Louis. I like St. Louis from a shot making standpoint and shirts and company. I think that they match up pretty well with Loyola Chicago away from Chicago. I think they're going to get to the semis, and then maybe they already beat VCU once. So yeah, give me St. Louis 20-1, and then give me Dayton 5-1.
Interesting. Yeah. See, my thing with St. Louis is I just don't know away from that building. Like I think Richmond could be live to take him down if Richmond gets past Davidson. I know it's an if. Yeah. But
terrible this year.
Yeah, I'm just going to sprinkle. There's no value on VCU. I'm just going to sprinkle Mason and LaSalle. I mean, maybe you can. The Dayton one makes sense too. Maybe I'll join you and jump on. I've already bet Mason and LaSalle. Maybe I'll jump into Dayton. We got a bunch of tournaments starting tomorrow, so this is going to take a few minutes. Big Ten. Look at this stupid fucked up bracket. What am I looking at here? It's goddamn. What is this?
Somebody's retirement. TIAA.
Yeah, unbelievable here, right? Big Ten seeding here is Michigan State plus 115 at the one spot. So then Maryland plus 270 to win it all. Wisconsin plus 425. UCLA plus 600. Purdue plus 1900. The Illini plus 2500. Michigan plus 2500. The Ducks plus 6500. Hoosiers plus 11,000. And Ohio State plus 15,000. Then you have Rutgers plus 20,000, Northwestern plus 20,000, USC plus 25,000, Iowa plus 35,000, Minnesota plus 50,000. Okay, so what stands out to me here is the bye week situation here, the bye game situation here. I kind of love where UCLA is sitting. Now I know they've struggled going east. But you're sitting there saying, okay, if you're Sparty, I think Indiana could beat Sparty, and I think Oregon could beat Sparty. We saw both of them play them incredibly close at times this year. Oregon blew like a double-digit lead in Sparty.
Yeah,
that's why I think it's a dangerous. I think Sparty is going to lose to one of those teams, right? Or very much could lose to one of those teams. And I actually think if you're a Sparty fan, you kind of want to. So then you're like, wait, so you could get Oregon, UCLA, get Indiana, UCLA. I'm going to take a shot on Indiana with Kevin Keats 2.0, aka Mike Woodson. And I'm going to take a shot on UCLA. As far as the south side of this bracket, I was thinking maybe sprinkling Purdue because it's in Indy, but I don't know. I haven't bet anything on the south side of the bracket. I'm sticking back with Indiana and UCLA right now. But I am intrigued about what you're going to say here because I'm curious your thoughts.
What was Wisconsin?
Plus 425.
I'm going to take a little sprinkle on Wisconsin just because I think they've been really good when they've been at their best. And I think that they got that loss out of the way at the end of the year. I think that they're going to play well. They always play well in this tournament, Wisconsin. Last year, they were in the finals. They've been in the finals many times. And I'm going to take Purdue. Last year, they choked the tourney away. They've got a good track record in this event.
It's in Indy. That's why I like Indy. That's why I like Indiana, too. I think Indiana – you know what? I'll add Purdue to mine. Just because
they get Michigan out of the top 4 teams. That's the one you want to play. So yeah, give me Purdue and give me Wisconsin in the final.
Yeah, and Illinois is very capable of beating Maryland. So
yeah, Illinois might be. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go Purdue, Illinois, Wisconsin. I'm going to do the 3 that got to win a game and get some momentum versus the double buys.
There we go. Let's jump on over to the next conference. The SEC. It just means more unless you're storming the court, you pussies. I know this bracket's harder to see. Best season in the history of the SEC basketball for sure. This is in Nashville. Should be noted that Tennessee is not far from Nashville, and also Vanderbilt resides in Nashville. Auburn plus 115. The Gators of Florida plus 270. Alabama plus 425. The Volunteers of Tennessee plus 600. Kentucky plus 1900. A&M plus 2500. Mizzou and Dennis Gates plus 2500. Ole Miss plus 6500. Georgia plus 11,000. Mississippi State plus 15,000. Arkansas plus 15,000. Vandy plus 20,000. The Horns hook 'em plus 25,000. Same with the Oklahoma Sooners plus 25,000, LSU plus 30,000, and the Gamecocks plus 50,000. Forecast cards talking about Arkansas is missing their 2 best players. They're not live. Is that referring to the earlier injury?
Who's that? Thero?
The ones I played already. So I've done all these on the. I've already bet a few. You could always talk me into some, but in this one, it was interesting. I really, going back to the bracket, who the fuck really wants to win this thing going into the NCAA tournament? Who can really improve their seeding?
I kind of think Auburn's going to be super motivated here.
Okay.
They lost the last two going into the tourney. I know they're plus 115 though. It's like, ugh.
I don't really see the value in that though, knowing they have to go through Tennessee. Tennessee will be there, or Vandy with the gigantic home edge. I mean, I guess Buzz could be there too, but they did lose the Buzz.
Give me Tennessee and Kentucky.
Kentucky gets the winner of the Oklahoma Georgia game.
They can beat Alabama.
I'm going to take the Tennessee one. Makes so much sense because of the home crowd.
Yep. Well, Kentucky will have a home crowd too.
That's true.
Those psychos will be there.
That is true.
Them in Tennessee will get the best turnouts. Tennessee and Kentucky.
I want to start off with a long shot. I think there's value on Vandy. I'm not saying they're going to win the thing. It's almost like the LaSalle play, just for the odds. Vandy's playing Texas at home, basically. Then they're playing at home pretty much the whole thing. Tennessee's the only time they would have, it gets a little dicey there. I think Tennessee would have the crowd. Vanderbilt won at A&M, right? I think it's worth a sprinkle. But another one I'm going to say is I know Mizzou's playing ass down the stretch, but I'm looking for a team that needs the edge to really gain spots and seeding. Mizzou's already beat Florida. I think it's worth a shot because imagine Mizzou beats Florida. They already beat. Did Mizzou beat Bama? I thought they beat Bama. No.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Columbia.
So if it goes chalk, you're playing two teams you've already beat. Now you can say, well, that could be hard to beat them again. Sure. I just feel like this is a conference that's not going to go chalk as far as the favorites. I think the favorites in a way want to lose. Am I crazy here?
No, that's why I said Tennessee in the 4th spot and then Kentucky in the 6th. I kind of want to take A&M too.
I think A&M's got value too, man. They're the most veteran team in the SEC.
I wish they weren't playing Tennessee.
I know because Tennessee is, I think, one that just kind of fucks with them, especially because Tennessee's going to have that place lit.
Yeah, I wish they were.
But Vandy could beat A&M, dude. Yeah. We saw it in College Station. I'm going to spring. I mean, I've already bet Vandy and Mizzou. I was trying to talk myself in earlier today to betting a third team. Kramer was saying, "Do we buy stock in Ole Miss?"
I don't think they can beat Auburn.
What about Oklahoma? I think Oklahoma. Actually, you know what? I'm going to sprinkle Oklahoma because Oklahoma is playing a lot better ball towards the end of the season here. Oklahoma lost to at the buzzer to Kentucky. Now I know that was in Norman, but no one goes to those games in Norman, so it'll be similar. Actually, no, it'll be a Kentucky crowd. I don't know.
I'll go Missouri. They lost their last 3 of the year. I think they come in super focused, get back on track.
Yeah, it is a fascinating conference.
I mean, Missouri won at Florida.
That's what I'm saying. They beaten Florida and Bama. Yeah. I think Mizzou makes a lot of sense. I'm going to sprinkle Vandy, Mizzou, and Oklahoma. I'm going to do just a tiny bit on Oklahoma.
Tennessee, Kentucky, and Missouri.
The Tennessee one makes sense too. I probably should do that too, but just because of the crowd. All right. Next up, let's go to the next conference starting tomorrow. The AAC, baby.
Here you go. You got your 6th seed.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, you got UTSA.
I will say I wanted that loss going into the tournament. People can say I'm crazy all I want, but I really did want it. I just wasn't aware at the time. I was kind of just phoning it in a way. I apologize, but I'll tell you this: if we get to UTSA, which is an UTSA gave us problems. We've already beat the shit out of UAB once. I think we can beat UAB. Then it gets a little dicey because North Texas is going to have that crowd. We're going to need Temple to knock off North Texas, which I actually think is possible. I don't like the north side of the bracket, to tell you the truth. North side of the bracket, I don't think Tulane can beat Memphis. I think Wichita can beat Memphis, though. And I think if you're going to take Tulane, you need Wichita to knock off Memphis. I'm just going with the south side of the bracket. I'm taking North Texas and I'm taking ECU. Those are my two plays. Cause remember, this is in Dallas, Fort Worth. So Denton, Texas is right there. I don't think UAB can beat North Texas if North Texas is at home.
I will take the two best coaches, in my opinion, Andy Kennedy and Ross Hodge. So I'll just take. I'm going to say UAB or North Texas gets to the final, and they're playing Memphis, and I'll have them as a dog in the game, unless Memphis somehow chokes. So yeah, give me North Texas and give me UAB. I don't think Memphis wins it. I think Memphis gets picked off somewhere.
I think Memphis gets picked off too.
They're not super motivated for this.
Yeah. But I just can't see UAB. If this was being played in Atlanta, I would love UAB. But Temple could knock off North Texas. Temple, I think, is kind of a wild card team here. I think like if you're looking for the wild card teams, it's ECU, Temple. I think. You think Wichita could go deep?
Yeah, they have fucked with Memphis the last couple years. They beat Memphis in the tourney last year.
Almost beat them twice this past year.
Yeah, they're the ones that knocked them out last year.
I'll tell you this, man. If Wichita gets past South Florida and beats Memphis, I like their chances against Tulane.
Yeah,
and then in the championship, maybe I should sprinkle Wichita. So North Texas, ECU, and maybe I sprinkle Wichita. I've already bet North Texas and ECU. Temple's a weird one too to me. Temple's a dangerous draw to me. So you're just on
North Texas and UAB, and
okay.
I'll just take one of them to get to the finals and then ride with it.
Let's jump on over to the Big West, which tips off tomorrow. Wacky ass bracket, but here we are. The odds: UC San Diego plus 250, Irvine plus 330, the Matadors of Cal State Northridge plus 350, the Highlanders UC Riverside plus 425, UC Santa Barbara plus 700, Cal Poly, the Mustangs plus 1800, UC Davis plus 2200, and Bakersfield plus 20,000 there. I mean, your bracket does really matter in this conference, but I think it's going to go chalk. I think UC San Diego is the best team in this conference, so I'm taking UC San Diego.
Why are they only plus 250? I thought they would be like even money.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. Irvine beat them, maybe, and what? Irvine beat them, and who else beat them? No one, right? Yeah. Riverside, I thought was close, right? Did Riverside catch him in Riverside? I know Irvine beat him.
Yeah, Irvine beat him at their place when they made like 5 threes. I'm on UC San Diego. That's it. Plus 250. They're gonna win. They're the best.
I think they're gonna win too. But I'll say this: if you're talking me into a second play, I actually think it's Northridge. I think Northridge played San Diego very fucking close in LA, and that was recently. I think that's a potential dangerous draw, but here's the problem. Northridge blew out Santa Barbara, and I think Santa Barbara could upset Northridge. I'm going to play the Tritons, and then I'm going to sprinkle a tiny bit on Northridge. You know, I love Riverside all year, but Riverside's not the same team away from Riverside. So I think I think they could get picked off by fucking Cal Poly in the second round. You're just doing one trick pony here?
Yeah. I'm on the Tridents. Best team. I like what I'm getting. I think they're gonna win it.
Let's jump on over to the Big East.
Here we go.
What is this Peacock shit? You see this?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, I shouldn't be bitching because we have Peacock with SGPN, but it's a fucking pain in the ass to bounce around. I just don't like it. And you got half your fucking games on Peacock here.
It's terrible.
So the Big East, St. John's plus 250, Crichton, the Blue Jays plus 330, Danny Hurley and UConn plus 350, Marquette plus 425, Xavier plus 700. Villanova plus 1800. Butler plus 2200. The Hoyas of Georgetown plus 20,000. Providence plus 25,000. Seton Hall plus 30,000. And the RuPaul Blue Balls DePaul plus 50,000. All right, hear me out here. I actually think I got this figured out. I know the Johnnies could win this fucking thing, and I actually think there's a little bit of value on them, but I don't like it. Marquette, the way they just beat Marquette, I think Marquette is the play in the north side of the bracket. Whoever you think's winning that the Marquette Xavier side on the north, I think is the play. The south side, I think it's UConn all day. I'm not taking a shot on any long shot. I know Green was trying to talk me into Nova, and I do think Nova is tricky because they should have beat UConn at UConn.
Calm, Neptune. I'm not falling for this shit again. Everybody does this every year. Villanova's going to get up in the Garden. They ain't getting up.
Dude, I think it's Marquette and UConn. Marquette and UConn.
What's Creighton?
Creighton's odds are plus 330.
Yeah, I ain't touching that. I know they play each other. Just give me Marquette and Xavier. I think Xavier could win the tournament.
They could.
Xavier needs to be like blood, but I've seen Marquette be really good in this tournament. Everybody's going to want to take UConn, obviously, in their fake home. Johnny's, I don't know. I think they're going to get picked off in the semis. So yeah, just give me Marquette and Xavier. I love
this tournament.
Yeah, I think one of them knocks off the Johnnies. Both of them already almost beat the Johnnies in the Garden. Yeah. Give me those two long shots with Marquette and Xavier.
All right, I'm on Marquette, and I am on UConn. Next up, we're going to the MEAC in Norfolk. I mean, this one, Norfolk gonna have a huge edge because Norfolk State is located in Norfolk, surprisingly. You're just learning things on the college basketball experience.
It's rigged bracket.
South Carolina State. And then you have, youtube.com/the college experience, but the odds right here, South Carolina State, Norfolk State, both plus 125. I mean, I have to take Norfolk State at home with that crowd. I have to. Howard's plus 1,200, Lavelle Moton and Central plus 1,600, Delaware State plus 1,600, Morgan State plus 3,500, Eastern Shore plus 25,000, Coppin State plus 25,000. Mine's simple. I love Lavelle Moton's spot. I understand your boy in South Carolina State. I think there's a strong chance they're in the championship. But the fact they just blew out Central, and Central went to overtime and lost to them in the first matchup. I think the value is with Central out of the south side of the bracket.
Are they going to win that first game though?
We'll get to that.
It's a hard game. That's going
to
be a good game.
They split, right? I think they split in the regular season.
Yeah, the game here on crack. It was great.
Norfolk's my play. I'm definitely taking Norfolk up top. I think Howard's down a little bit. I don't even see a real contender in the north side. You have to take Norfolk, and especially with you getting the same odds as South Carolina State. I think you play the plus 125 on the home team, and you take a shot on what value play. It's either Delaware State or Central. I can't see a case for any other team. Can you?
Why are they the same?
Yeah.
This one stinks. Give me South Carolina State. I think they're just playing better. They beat them down the stretch and they're rolling. This is kind of like the Zags the other day with St. Mary's. We're like, why are they so much more of a favorite? Yeah, just give me South Carolina State plus 125 with the momentum.
You're not taking a long shot in this one?
Well, I mean, once I already have plus 125, I can't really take another long shot.
Plus 125?
Yeah.
That's a long shot to you?
No, I mean, at that point, you're basically losing money. South Carolina State wins.
Okay.
So it's either you go chalk or you go two long shots. I'll just go South Carolina State.
All right. Next up, we got the Mountain West tipping off tomorrow. The odds. New Mexico. This is in Vegas. Plus 250. Utah State plus 330. Colorado State plus 350. Boise plus 425. San Diego State, the Aztecs plus 700. UNLV plus 1800. Steve Alford in Nevada plus 2200. San Jose State plus 20,000. Wyoming plus 25,000. Fresno plus 30,000. Air Force plus 50,000. Just look at this bracket for a second.
Oh boy.
San Diego State, if they beat Boise at Boise, if San Diego State beats Boise, which I think they could, I love their chance against New Mexico. I also think New Mexico might not be there. Remember, San Jose State upset New Mexico. So San Diego State, I'm convinced on the north side is the play. The south side is where it gets a little fucking insane. You got Colorado State, that maybe the hottest team in college hoops right now. You got Steve Alford in Nevada, which I think is worth the play just because the odds are so ridiculous and the roster's that good. You got Utah State, which has been a killer in these conference tournaments over the years. UNLV's at home. You can make a case for that. They've been hot towards the end of the season too. I'm taking 3 futures in this fucking conference. I'm taking San Diego State. I'm taking Colorado State, and I'm taking Nevada. What are you doing here?
I like it. I will take the underachievers. Give me Boise off the senior day disappointment.
That's a play that you realize, like, the loser of that game is probably not making it.
I know, and but I think Boise has the better roster than San Diego State.
Yeah,
I think that they're gonna. I think if they could just get by San Diego State, I like them against.
I just think San Diego State's a bad matchup for them. Like, historically, they just can't get past the Aztecs. That was one of their only losses this year at home.
Yeah. Well, and then Colorado State. So I'm gonna just take Boise to get it done, get San Diego State monkey off their back, and then Nevada. I've been saying I'm taking Nevada for weeks. This is gonna be so much fun.
No play on the Rams.
I feel like they've overachieved. They're
playing for their postseason life. They need some wins.
I think Nevada's going to beat Colorado State.
That's going to be a great game. Hopefully,
yeah. Give me Alford and give me Leon Rice. Disappointing at the end of the year. Let's go.
All right. Oh shit! Did I forget to put another slide there? Well, anyway, I think we're good. Actually, all right. Let's get to the games. Like I said, I apologize for not having the fucking slides. I built most of them for no fucking reason. A10 tournament, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Richmond catching 6.5 against Davidson in Washington, D.C. I'm taking the Spiders. I think Mooney is a clear coaching advantage. I think they're live on the fucking money line, to tell you the truth, man.
Were these the 2 rigged games where we had Richmond in both games against them and they should have covered in both? We lost by the hook in like both, right?
Yeah. I think we did.
Yeah, let's go back to it. Richmond lock.
Double lock on these Spiders. Shout out to Silver Bullet giving us $10 cash to the guys who work like miners into the wee hours of the night. Love the guest pickers, Rob, Cannabis, and Trevor. Oh man. Trevor shares the same barber as Noah. Viva the mullet basement liar and layer. Geez. And LeBarons. Appreciate you, Silver Bullet. Appreciate everyone tuning in the wee hours, man. I mean, that's how you know the real ones. All right. That's how you know the real ones. Double lock on the Richmond Spiders there. Virginia is taking on Georgia Tech in Charlotte. I think we already differed on this one. I'm going to take Virginia. They're getting 1.5. Give me the Wahoos. Sanchez previously coached in Charlotte, knows the lay of the land.
Yeah.
And I think Virginia's just a better basket. And I also think their style fucks with Damon Stoudemire, NBA guy. What do you mean they're playing so slow? Go back to that game on February 8th. The Wahoos won by 14 against them. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I thought Georgia Tech could be a sleeper, but I don't like their seed and their draw. To your point, I'm going to lock Virginia. I think the line is telling. I mean, who wants to bet on Virginia? And Georgia Tech's been the sexy little sleeper pick. Yeah, give me the Wahoos. Get it done here, and they sweep the season series.
I'll join you. Double lock on Virginia.
Style makes fights.
The Cincinnati Bearcats are catching 8.5 on this fucked up court. By the way, what are we doing here?
I told Rush this shit. Rush is like, I like it. I go, you're fucking out of your mind. This shit's awful.
Yeah, I don't like these.
It looks like TCU.
I don't like these fucking conferences hiring outside of college sports. I think that's another element of this shit changing. Yormark's a fucking Rock Nation guy. He's probably been at these P. Diddy parties. I just don't like. Why can't we just do normal basketball courts?
Yeah, it's bad.
By the way, 8.5. I'm going to lay the 8.5 with Iowa State. This is a home game for Iowa State. I thought about taking the points here. What's our situation here with Gilbert?
Game time decision. I don't think Iowa State's going to be healthy.
And maybe we take the Bearcats plus the
I'm
point.
locking Cincy. This is their season on the line. I know I said Iowa State is the future, just like I said K-State. I think,
but 8.5's a big ass number.
Yeah, two defensive teams. I think Cincinnati plays well again, but Iowa State just has enough with that crowd. Iowa State by 6 or 7.
I'm not going to bet this game, but I will take Cincinnati.
I'll take the Bearcats lock.
Moneyline back, locking up the Bearcats to Cincinnati. Monty saying 9.5 is out there.
I'll take that. Yeah, lock 9.5.
There you go. You might need that in this matchup with the crowd. South Carolina, Arkansas, Nashville, Tennessee. South Carolina won by 19 the last time they played. Remember, I think Kentucky had like 13 points at halftime. Man, I'm going to lay it with Arkansas, but I'm not. If it was just a little bit shorter, South Carolina played well in Nashville the first time. Should have won, actually. Give me Arkansas, no bet. What are you doing here?
I'm locking up South Carolina. Calipari's been bad in these SEC tournaments. Everybody's going to be on the Razorbacks tomorrow. They need the game like blood. I think they're already in the tournament, and Arkansas's banged up. I think South Carolina, a young team with nothing to play for, plays well, plays loose. I think they made
all right, you sold me. Let's go. Let's go. I'm a Lamont Paris guy. I was the only one of these fucking airwaves last year saying they're going to do something.
Let's market the shit out of here.
The line movement, Monty. Some of that was Monty there saying, "Man, it opened up at 1.5. It's at 4.5. What point do you jump in?" Back to the AAC.
That's because not one person has bet on South Carolina yet.
They're not that bad of a team, dude.
Yeah, they were in the game against Tennessee the other day.
Dude, they are a good. Like, honestly, you put South Carolina. They could be a tournament team in another conference. They really could. They really could.
And they've already beaten Arkansas. They didn't beat them by 19. That was dressed up. They were up 33 at one point in that game.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go to Denton, Texas, of all places, where the AAC tournament is tipping off. I know it's in Fort Worth. Denton's about 45 minutes from Fort Worth. Charlotte, right? They want to pay for the extra days. Those greedy fucks in Fort Worth trying to double charge them. So they said, "Hey, North Texas in our conference. Hey, North Texas, pick up the phone. We're using your goddamn basketball arena." Charlotte and Rice are doing battle. Rice is laying 3.5. I will lay the 3.5 with Rice. What are you doing here?
Charlotte, no bet.
Sell me on. I mean, I know we're not betting this, but like Rice is in that time zone. I actually think Rice has been the better team this year. Like on eye test, Charlotte's 1-12 away from their arena.
It's a neutral site game, and I think Rice sucks too. So I'll take the points. These games have been chaotic.
So I got to remind you, Long Island beat Charlotte at Charlotte.
Yeah, but this game isn't at Charlotte.
Well, they're 1-12, not at Charlotte.
These games are all fucking landing within the number. I'm not betting it, but I'm not laying 3.5 with Rice. They suck.
I think Rice is the play. I'm not betting it either. Not betting it either. We got the Ram battle going on. Fordham, Rhode Island, A10 tournament. Rhode Island laying 4.5. I think Rhode Island's the play. I'm going to lay it. It's a little bit stinky though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm locking Fordham. They split the season series, and I fade Rhode Island every time they leave their home arena.
I don't know about a lock though. You feel that good about Fordham and DC?
This is FIU and Western Kentucky tonight. Line's telling stinky line.
Wait, I got it for you. Moneyline Mac locking up Fordham. Wyoming taking on San Jose State in Vegas. San Jose State's laying 1.5. This is a very hard game to project because I'd love to know if Will McClendon's playing. I'm taking San Jose State, but no bet. You kind of need to know this information. What are you doing here?
I want to bet Wyoming.
The line is kind of telling that he's not playing.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to play. I don't think he's going to play. And San Jose swept the season series when they were healthy. But I like Sundance Wicks. I know they lost 4 in a row down the stretch, but
they're 1-9 in their last 10.
But a lot of them have been like 1 to 2 possession games.
I just think you need information for this. I mean, I will say this: the line is telling you McClendon's not playing.
Yeah, I'll take Wyoming.
You're locking this?
Yeah, I'm Sundance Wicks, baby.
You're locking some filthy fucking games.
Baby.
Moneyline Mag locking up the Wyoming Cowboys.
That's all those chalk eaters how they've been doing the last couple of days.
Now this I will lock because it's fucking swaction, baby.
I knew you'd be on this.
Grambling is taking on Southern. So Southern's and Grambling. If in case you've been a pile of shit and just said, "Hey, I don't know about these small conferences," HBCUs. This is the epitome of a rivalry game. And both wins were by 7 points by Southern. Both wins.
It's 6.5.
Well, let me tell you, the last time they played, that shit was tied up with like a minute left. Let me tell you, Grambling's fucking live. In Atlanta, Grambling's fucking live. I'm taking the points. I'm locking up Grambling.
A game under the middle.
This is that's what I'm saying. It's a horrible draw for Southern. So anyone else, you're like, oh, I think Southern can be waxing them. It's like getting this team that has played this close to you. Both matchups. I love Grambling here. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'll co-sign you. I like taking the team that has experience in this event, winning it. And they've already got a game under the belt. Let's fade the 1 seed in SWAC all day.
Double lock on the Grambling Tigers. Next up, Notre Dame is taking on North Carolina in Charlotte. I got a lock. I am laying the 8.5 on North Carolina. Have you guys seen when they play in Charlotte? I actually think you can make a case they might have more fans in Charlotte than they do in Chapel Hill. What are you doing here?
Lock battle. I'll take the Irish. They already played a game. North Carolina's overrated.
Notre Dame's ass. I watched that game today.
With
You're
this
gonna eat a pile of shit on this dude.
Notre Dame's live.
No, they are not. This is a 25-point beatdown.
No.
You just don't know. You don't know about this.
Ain't walking through that door.
You look, that other game was in South Bend.
Now we got a problem. Now we got a problem.
Battle. Dundee. On the heels. Mac on the Irish. Next up. Here's another one I think you better be sweating.
This is the Mountaineers.
West Virginia is laying 6.5 or 7. Shop around against these Buffs. I'm taking the Buffs, dude. I think the Buffs are live. I think it's a game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel great about laying 6.5. Make our free throws win by 7. I'll lay it. No bet.
I will say this. I've been so bad on West Virginia games. You probably want to take the other side. But I'm staying away. These fucking West Virginia games fuck with me. I'm not betting this, but I give me the Buffs. But I will bet this next one. Texas is catching 2.5 in Nashville against Vanderbilt. I saw Diego Pavia saying he'll be at the game. Okay. Well, Diego, it's about time these doors pissed all over these Texas Longhorns. Lock. Vanderbilt -2.5. They end Texas's season tomorrow. Texas declines the NIT because they're bitch asses. And that's how it goes. Mac?
Lock battle. They already played in Nashville and they almost won actually on campus at Vandy. Vandy won't have as many fans as everybody thinks. They don't travel to this tournament. They don't travel.
They're not Vandy fans, but they're anti-Texas fans.
You will get that, but this is Rodney Terry with the plus sign. He's always good as a dog and terrible as a favorite. Give me them horns.
We got a battle. Dundee on Vanderbilt. Mac on these horns. It'll be a Vandy crowd. Big Ten action. Northwestern laying 2.5 against Minnesota.
What?
I'm gonna lay it. No bet. Fuck this game. Can I say that? It's not even like these are traditional Big Ten teams. It's more so Northwestern's injuries that has me like the injuries and them being 2.5-point favorites have me like Northwestern's the right side, but I don't enjoy betting on this game. Well, this isn't a fuck you game as in like, you know, the traditional Big Ten games I shit on like Washington taking on Rutgers, the non-traditional, I guess I should say. What are you doing here?
You know, the more and more I was thinking Minnesota, but we're getting a better coach significantly. Lay it with Northwestern, no lock.
I think we might have a lock right here though, because Butler is laying 1.5 against Providence in Madison Square Garden.
Let's go, Thad. Go Dogs.
I'm going to lock this fucking thing up.
Yeah.
Double lock. Butler -1.5 against Providence.
Better program, better coach. Stuff.
I agree. And then Fresno State's taking on Nevada.
Oh, God damn you, Alfred. Don't lose this one. All you got to do is win this one and you're going to win the tournament.
They're laying 12.5. I'm laying it. No bet. Actually, bet.
They're gonna.
I just took a future on them. Bet. 25-point win. We We didn't. I mean, the peyote, Steve. The peyote. Remember our conversations?
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah. Fresno already scared them once. Nevada rolls. You're right. You're right. I'll join you. We'll get some
Double lock. Double lock on the Nevada Wolfpack. All right, now you're a Frank Martin guy.
Conference USA 4:30 game. This is a great game.
Hold on here. Oh, I got you.
UMass has kind of fucked them up, actually.
Frank, he's a decent guy. He's got compassion in his heart, right?
It's a good guy to end his career. He goes out. It's a nice handshake. Waves to the crowd.
The fuck is going on here? Oh, okay. The shipment's fucking coming in. Let me tell you about a coach that used to coach in Washington, D.C. at AU. His name is fucking Fran Dunphy. And I refuse to believe he's going to get beat 3 times by the same fucking coach ever. We got a battle? We got a battle.
Frank's going to put Fran into the retirement home here.
Frank,
rest in peace, Fran.
you're taking that loss. LaSalle plus 2.5. Dundee on that play. Plus 130 on the money line. Mac on UMass. Unbelievable.
Darius Nichols era starts tomorrow.
Nope. If anything, UMass, and I love Frank, but UMass gonna be thinking, what the fuck are we doing here? Maybe we should get Fran. All right. Maybe we should make a phone call.
Fran might be associate head coach next year. He may be special consultant. Him and Frank are boys. It's going to be a nice farewell.
Look, what you don't know about this photo is if you pan left, Frank Martin's there having a drink. Guarantee you if you pan to the left, Frank Martin's there. Hey, you son of a bitch. How are you? A doer's neat. Boom.
This is like WWE when Shawn Michaels fucking did the "I'm sorry" and then fucking sweet chin music. Who did he sweet chin music in the?
Oh baby? Man, yeah, I'm dating myself, dude. I don't remember.
He goes, "I'm sorry," and then he just beat the fuck out of it. It's like, that's it. It's over tomorrow.
Nope. You wish.
Ric Flair. This is Ric Flair and fucking Frank and Shawn Michaels. It's over.
There we go.
Man. It's over tomorrow.
Let's talk about this one in 30 minutes after this tip, which by the way, that'll be on the, you better believe, the studio main screen, LaSalle UMass tomorrow. This other bullshit out of here. Lamar. Take it on McNeese. Okay. Mac. It was March 1st. It was a fine day in Beaumont, Texas. And then Lamar and McNeese decided to play a game of basketball. And in that game, Lamar blew a late second half lead. McNeese stole that game 68-66. And as they were just ending the game, there was a dust up between Lamar and McNeese State.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun title game.
Now, Lamar, I personally thought was not the better team today, but they won. I really believe that.
I thought they played like shit.
I actually thought they looked like absolute ass and found a way to win that game.
Yeah.
So when I see, what is this line at, by the way? Why do I not see this line still? How the fuck? Ooh. Okay, I'll take the points.
13.5. I'll lock Lamar. Dude, the McNeese cover today was the biggest phony cover of the day.
Let's go. Yeah. I'm in. Double lock
Lose
Lamar.
by 9.
Lamar can't play like they played today, though. They could lose by 30 if they play like they played today.
Lamar matches all right.
I'm just counting on the fact they had gotten that dust up after they played well the first time in Lake Charles. I think they could stay within this number.
Yeah, agreed.
Maryland Eastern Shores catches 16.5 against Norfolk State in Norfolk. I will lay the 16.5, and you can talk me into a lock.
I'm going to stay away, but
It's a 30-point win.
It should be, but why is the number not 20? I'm kind of actually surprised.
Probably because Eastern Shore won a couple. Iowa is catching 5.5 against Ohio State. Oh yeah,
Iowa money line.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna ruin
I'm in. This one, I circled this one beginning of the show. Iowa plus 180 or something on the money line, whatever the fuck that is.
Well, you should have taken a future on Iowa. I'm adding Iowa to my futures. Fran's one last get up spot. The other Fran.
Ryder won on a buzzer beater today. Now they're not going anywhere. They're staying at Atlantic City to take on the Aqueduct, Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac's laid 8.5. I'm locking fucking Ryder plus 8.5, dude. I don't think, double lock on the moving company. Quinnipiac is ass away from fucking their home stadium. 8.5, gigantic number here. And Lawrenceville is right up the road.
And Ryder came back from 15 down tonight. They didn't play well. They just had a great comeback. I think they ride that momentum house money game. Quinnipiac kind of puckers up in these.
Call me crazy. I think the money line might be live here.
Absolutely. It's a fucking MAAAC.
Like plus 300 money line. If you're looking for a sprinkle, I think I might. You know what? Fuck it. I think I'm going to add that to the card too. Yeah. I'm sprinkling that money line. The RuPaul Blue Balls. DePaul in Madison Square Garden taking on Ed Cooley. DePaul just beat him by 6, but Ed Cooley was off of the win against the Wildcats of Villanova. I'm laying the 3.5 with Georgetown. You too?
We should lock Georgetown. He called out. He challenged his team's manhood. He's gonna have him ready to play in the Garden.
I'm in.
He's won a Big East championship.
Double lock on the Hoyas. Shout out to William Welliver. Appreciate you, William.
Ed Cooley, baby.
Yeah. Next up. All right. We got to have a good conversation about this one.
The locks are flowing. Lock UTEP. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
UTEP looked good tonight.
Yeah.
They look good tonight, dude. I'll be honest, watching them tonight, I was watching that game and I go, they could win the whole fucking thing.
They looked good all year until this random 7-game losing streak that it was like, what the hell happened?
They could win this fucking tournament, dude.
I'm with you. UTEP, we said it last night. We just wanted to see them play well once. I'm back in on them.
Yeah, me too. It's like plus 300 too on the money line. I think it's that between them and the Ryder play. I think it's worth it. They already won at Liberty. Double lock on the 7.5. LSU is taking on Mississippi State. Mississippi State's laid 8.5. No bet here, but I will take LSU in the points.
I mean, who's Mississippi State to be laying 8.5 on the neutral?
I know. I almost think LSU is live.
Yeah, I'll lock LSU. I've liked LSU taking them as a dog this year. Yeah, LSU.
It's just my problem with LSU that honestly
they fell out of covers. I will say that.
I was about to say they should be investigated.
They are on the investigation.
They should be investigated, dude. They're one of the teams to me. Florida Internet, you know, the teams that we haven't named. We know New Orleans was on the take. We know Fresno. We know Eastern Michigan. We know A&T. We know Valley State. I think Richmond, Florida International, LSU should all be investigated.
Yeah.
I mean, we nailed 4 out of these fucking 5.
The first game, it was literally a 4 or 5. LSU had a second half point lead, and they lost by 12. And the number was 11.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me LSU. They cover this one.
I'm hesitating on locking it because of their history. Like their history this year is meaning knowing the fucking number. It's a strange. LSU's been a fucking strange team this year, man. As far as knowing the number.
Do well though in March.
Oh, I think LSU's the right side. I'm going to stay away though, just because I truly believe they should be fucking investigated. You watch so many of these games. LSU, the way they lose is different than it reminds me of Richmond. The way they lose. Air Force, UNLV, what could go wrong? UNLV's laying 12.5.
Same number as what's it called? Nevada.
If I want to remind you folks, Air Force won by 40 at UNLV a year ago. This is at UNLV. It's the Mountain West tournament, but it's on UNLV's at their home stadium. I'm laying it with UNLV. You can talk. I actually think I should lock this. There's no way it happens again. I'm locking up UNLV. UNLV by 20. What are you doing here?
I'll stay away on this one. UNLV, no bet, just because I hate them in this tournament. They always let me down in this fucking tournament.
This is one of the games of the day. Navy is taking on American Patriot League Championship. One of these teams is dancing. Maryland, DC rivalry going on here. Bender Arena. What if I told you Navy swept them? Navy won by 8. But yet AU is a 3.5 point favorite. I'm locking up AU minus 3.5. And win by 5. What are you doing here?
I think you're on the right side. I'll lock American with you. They get the revenge. Navy comes up one game.
Double lock on AU. I got another play that I like that I feel like no one likes, which I normally love.
It's a hilarious game coming up.
There's a long-standing rivalry between Cal and Stanford, but they've just never played in North Carolina or anywhere close to it either. I don't think they've played anywhere across the Mississippi River against one another. They might have played in Vegas once. They might have played in LA, but I'm damn sure pretty fucking positive they've never played anywhere even remotely close to North Carolina. A lot of people making the big deal. Cal 6 overtimes. Stanford has swept them this year, but man, these scores are misleading. If you watch the games, they are misleading.
And Madsen played at Stanford. Stanford's beat his ass 4 straight times.
I think Cal's going to win on the money line tomorrow.
I agree. They already get the game under their belt.
I think Cal is going to win on the fucking money line tomorrow.
They're going to be like, we can't beat you out west. We'll bring you to North Carolina and beat you. Let's go, Cal.
Double lock. Cal plus 200. Plus, back it up with the points. You're getting 5.5 or 6. Back it up with the points. Just in case.
This game is so stupid.
It's so dumb. You want to know what's wrong with the world right now in college athletics?
North Carolina.
In Charlotte, who is going to be at this? I know you get the day pass, but here's the problem. And this is what these fucking idiots didn't think about. If you buy the ticket to Carolina and what's it called? Carolina, Notre Dame or whatever, the day pass, you go out to lunch for this game. I'm curious how many people are at this fucking game.
This is hilarious.
Now, how many human beings will be watching this game when we're watching this? I don't know. I'm not talking TV ratings. I'm talking the actual game. Yeah. I'm going to keep this lock train going. Baylor's laying 6.5. I'm going to take Kansas State plus 6.5 here. I think they stay within that number. What are you doing here?
It feels obvious, but Tang covers every game against Scott Drew. And I think Their season's on the line. Baylor's been a little bit suspect. Give me K-State here.
I think they're live too. I think Willie's right. And I hate to it's just the way the game's aligned on the way we do this, but I'm also locking up South Carolina State minus 14.5 against Coppin. I think they're winning by 20 tomorrow. Maybe 25, 30. What are you doing here?
I'll take South Carolina State, but it's off the championship win, so no bet for me.
I just think Coppin's so bad. USC is taking on Rutgers. USC laying 1.5. This I thought was one of the harder games. I took Rutgers. I will not bet this game. I won't even bet a player prop in this game. This is a truly stupid game. What are you doing here?
I'll bet the stupid game. Give me the Trojans. Give me the Must Bus in March.
The fact they're favored with that many losses is quite telling.
They're the 14th seed and they're laying points. I'm all over the Trojans.
Well, and they've lost how many? Like out of the past 10 games.
Yeah,
2-8 in their last 10 games.
Everybody will like Ace Bailey and all that bullshit, but Rutgers is underachieved all year.
I'm gonna pick Rutgers just because USC in the first leg of that road trip east. But yeah, I ain't betting that shit. Moneyline Mac, lock it up, USC. Fucking Sacred Hot is taking on Mary Mac. What's this number in the old MAAAAC in Atlantic City?
3.5. Sacred Heart's gonna win tomorrow.
Yeah, I tend to think you're right.
They're playing pretty well. They just won at Merrimack a couple weeks ago. The other game is a 1-point game. I'll lock up Sacred Heart.
Ooh, I don't know about a lock. I'll take Sacred Hot. Moneyline Mac, locking up the Pioneers.
The buzzer beater.
I remember, yeah. Oh no, I thought you were saying the game before. I think it was a buzzer beater. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one's going to be a buzzer beater. I don't know who's going to hit the buzzer beater, but somebody's hitting the buzzer beater.
Florida A&M is taking on Jackson State. What is the number you're seeing right now? Is it still the same as the SGP show?
4.5.
Yeah. I'm going to lock up Florida A&M. I like them getting that play-in game. I like that play-in game. I just think this is first off, Florida A&M beat them by 5 back on February 15th, but I just feel like you get loose by playing that game. I think they stay within this number. The money line is an option here, but I just think I fully expect this to be like neck and neck with a minute left. What are you doing here?
I'll join you. Let's go FAMU.
Yeah. Double lock on the Rattlers. All right, we got to talk about this here. Seton Hall's catching 12 at the Garden. Shaheen is from New York City. Get this bullshit out of here. I understand Villanova is better than their record, but I think Seton Hall is better than their record. I'm all over the 12. I think the money line is live.
Absolutely. Everybody's got Villanova as their cute little future, and they're laying double. No, thank you. Seton Hall live. Let's go.
Shaheen Holloway has fucking pride. He's showing up well.
Won at the Garden already.
Yeah. Give me the 12. Let's go, Pirates. Lock. Sprinkle the fucking money line. I could totally see Villanova shit in the bed here. Next up, we got Bakersfield taking on Santa Barbara in Vegas or Henderson, whatever the fuck. I'm going to lay the 4.5 with Santa Barbara. Actually, I could be talking to a bet here.
I've liked Bakersfield as a dog. I'm just going to take Bakersfield, no bet though.
Yeah. 357. What happened at a fucking Long Island Sharks in the hospital? They're not playing in the tourneys. Maybe I missed it. Well, the Sharks got completely fucking robbed on a call, in my opinion. Now they were dumb enough to, I'll actually take that to the grave. Like Long Island was the better team that day. The biggest lead of the game from St. Francis was the final score. I repeat, the biggest lead of the game. Long Island was up 17. Now credit St. Francis for coming back, and Long Island's dumb enough to let them come back. but that call was trash, in my opinion. Detroit's just not very good this year. They're building it though. It's better than last year. You can answer that in your own way. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Detroit's first year head coach. I actually thought they had a pretty good year, all things considered. LIU was Ponzi scheme all year, so they did a good job on that call though.
We should load up here, right?
Who is it?
Utah Tech, aka Dixie State, is taking on Utah Valley in Vegas.
Hey, how about that cover today, baby?
Dude, I actually think Tech. So they lost in overtime.
They lost and fuck around and like get to the finals or some shit.
Dude, I kind of think this game is live.
They look good today. I know they have a travel spot. How far is Dixie?
No, that's like an hour and a half drive. I've done that drive, dude.
Okay. I was making sure it wasn't like a 4-hour drive.
No, it's a southern tip. Like if you go to Zion, if you go hike Zion, which I actually here's how close it is. I was hiking Zion with my wife. At the time we weren't married, but we did like the fucking Narrows, which I strongly recommend to anyone out there if you like hiking. Our hotel bothered us. Like we were staying at a hotel and it was just, they kept fucking like, it was just kind of a shitty hotel, right? Like it actually was like I think it was like a name brand hotel, but it was like, it was just, they fucking bothered us. I had already paid for a couple nights there. We'd already stayed there a couple nights. So I knew Vegas was that close. So I said, fuck it. Let's go stay at the Wynn in Vegas. At the time we had to deal with the Wynn. So it was close enough that on the whim at dinner that I said, let's go to Vegas and we'll just burn this final night in Zion. That's how close of a drive it was. So it was like, we went in and I like I said, I think it's an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And so I don't think that's that treacherous for your team to jump on a bus.
They got the momentum.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go Dixie.
Dixie State, 12.5. Come on, man. Let's stay with this number. They got the play-in game too.
Well, yeah, this is Utah Valley's third straight road game, and they won those two crazy games in Charleston and Abilene.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, man.
It's a tricky spot here for the old Valley guys.
Let's go. The airport is taking on Jacksonville State. This game is tricky.
FIU lock.
What is this number?
8.5. Too big.
Didn't FIU catch them?
No. Jack State beat them in overtime.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
They beat them by 5 and they beat them by 4. Everybody sees a 2 versus 10. Yeah. Let's
no, I'm in. The airport 8.5. Let's go. Lock. Sprinkle the money line.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta ride the magic of some shit teams. Just as Delaware.
Yeah. Hey, they would lock battle win for Dundee there. Oklahoma's taking on Georgia. Georgia's laying 3.5. I'm locking up Oklahoma. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Georgia's coming in red hot, but they already clinched their spot. Complacency. Mike White has not been good in the SEC tourney. Give me Oklahoma.
Double lock, Boomer Sooner. Mike's running into shout out to Mike. Don't you live in Florida, buddy? You live in Miami? I can't remember. This one is interesting to me. I think once again, what is this number?
Syracuse.
They're laying. SMU's laying 8.5.
Lock.
I think Q's are live on the money line.
Yeah. there's something about Syracuse this time of fucking year.
Well, they have veterans too. Like
SMU's in a new tourney, new setting.
Syracuse plus the points, sprinkle the money line all day. That line's just a bit insane to me. UCF is catching 11.5 against Kansas here. I'm taking the points. I'm not betting this, but I'm taking the points. Kansas, you have to prove it to me. At the Fog is like a 4-point game this year.
But at the Bounce House, it was a 50-point game.
But that was early in the season, right?
Yeah. I mean, UCF already got the game under their belt. I kind of want to lock UCF.
I'll join you. I think everyone's going to be on Kansas.
Yeah, I think Kansas will win by 7.
Very golden Knights plus the points. Let's go. UT Arlington's catching 8.5 against Grand Canyon. As I alluded to last night, Tyon Grant Foster is out, and I will take the points.
Should we bet them? I kind of want to. I know I picked Grand Canyon to win, but I think that you're getting a reputation line here.
Let's go. Arlington plus the points. Sorry, I'm just reading online that am I seeing this true to be true that Eagle staff is committed to Alabama
already?
I need to do a deeper dive before I commit to this, or
that was my prediction.
But that's just fucking hilarious if so. Cal Poly's laying 3.5 at in Vegas or in Henderson against UC Davis. I'm gonna lay the 3.5. No lock. Jim Les has lost 7 in a row. This might be his final hurrah. So no lock here.
I like Cal Poly. Yeah, I'll lay it here.
And final game
Is that
on the
line telling? Why are they laying 3.5?
What do you mean? Like in which way?
Cal Poly. I mean,
I feel like we should be if any side we jump on Cal Poly, right?
That's what I mean. Like
Okay.
I feel like that the number was going to be like a pick, and then they got it north of 3. Check the picks page. I may bet Cal Poly lay the 3.5.
What is this? This game is awesome. We have here
Sky, baby.
Montana, Northern Colorado. They split in the regular season. I mean, how great is this fucking game? What is this number you're seeing?
I got Northern Colorado laying 3. They both won on each other's floors. This is going to be a bet because we have to bet this game. So
I want to bet it anyway because it's arguably one of the best games of the day, if not the best. I'm gonna lay. I think Montana's the better team. I really believe that Montana is the better team. But goddamn, what'd you say it was?
Northern Colorado -3.
Yeah, I love that spot for Montana. Like if I believe they're the better basketball team. I think it's close, but I believe they're the better basketball team. What are you doing here?
I'll battle you. Give me Northern Colorado to finally get over the hump and win this thing. They win by 5. They pull away late.
This game's awesome. We got a battle at Starch Madness. Dundee on the Grizz. Mac on the Bears. Battle of Bears too. Let's go. All right, man. We made it through all the fucking games.
We give out 6.
Yeah. Hey, what is the chat talking about here? All dogs? Not true.
No,
not true.
They love betting favorites. So like, if you don't take every other favorite,
we took American. We took Georgetown,
Nevada.
Nevada. Who else? I mean, shit. You just took Northern Colorado.
Took Cal Poly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stop it. Stop it with your bullshit. I'm on North Carolina heavy.
Northwestern,
I'm
Butler,
on Vanderbilt heavy. What are you talking about?
UMass.
Yeah. I mean, you took UMass. Yeah. I mean, Butler, we both took Butler.
Georgetown.
Yeah. They're full of shit. Like normal. Best. How many are we doing? 5?
Do 6. There's a lot of games.
All right. From the start, American will be 1. Two. God damn it. There's a lot that I like. Syracuse will be 2. 3 will be North Carolina. I know it's chalky. 4. Let's go with Georgetown. 5. Man, there's a lot of it's hard separating. 5, I'll actually take Seton Hall. 6. Mm-mm-mm. 6, give me Vanderbilt and get this Texas Longhorn bullshit out of here. Fire Mac.
Oklahoma, Texas, K-State, Cal.
Everyone that I didn't name. Right?
Did I already say Iowa?
Yeah, you just did.
Then I need a 6 one. Give me here. I'll throw a favorite in there for the favorites crowd. Give me Southern Cal over Rutgers.
Damn. Folks, his name is Moneyline Mac. He's on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. Yeah, best time of year. Best time of year, man. We'll be back tomorrow night, of course. I'll be on Sports Gambling Podcast. This show, I'm also on VSiN and Sports Grid. So check us all out. Appreciate the chat hopping with us, not through us. I can't even fucking talk. I've done so many fucking shows. I just can't even talk. Yeah, what a great day. Congrats to all those teams dancing. And let's not change the fucking sport. Please voice your fucking opinion. Tag the NCAA, tag whatever. Voice your goddamn opinion. Till next time, folks. Check out the college football experience and the college baseball experience. Check out my guy CJ Sullivan, the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, and the Ryan and Rush show. Don't forget about the Ryan and Rush show. Cannot wait to watch these games and talk to you bozos and talk shit to Mac and company. So let's go. Appreciate you rocking with us. This is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
When I spit my darts, you get ripped apart. Save the cookie cutter mother for 106 apart. Cause of your liquor, will I sip your heart? You never dumb it down, dog. If you're smart, I throw out a couple of lines. Fighters are quick to cross. Fishy you on the dick to lie. Piss you off, it goes. Tits and bras, lips and jaws. I use my common sense to see the bitch and all. Good thing you got the market corner. Kids and malls. Grip the red carpet as you slip and fall off. Another career spear. Thanks for trying to block. You get an A for effort and an F for shut the fuck up. Here's a hint. Put down the mic, you catch a glimpse. And keep them eyes wide when you see me. Mike's I sees them. So when you see him, you got a good reason to look. Catch a glimpse. I like lot of these heads need to improve their improv. Talent's not a program you download to install. Quality spread through hard work, no involved. My peers respect me because I'm genuinely evolved. Beyond gathering names to build up my buddy list. You decide friendships and pounds of suicide and bloody risk. I'm equipped or leave empty-handed. They don't call me C's for nothing. See the camera? Smile. Click. Here comes the picture. You act like a child. Manhood don't fit ya. I'll break your whole style down to a bumper sticker. I never need a gun to lift ya. Here's a hint. Put down the mic and catch a glimpse. And keep them eyes wide when you see me. Mics, I seize them. So when you see him, you gotta